Hi, I'm Mike Wilkening, and welcome to the Handicapper's Corner on ProFootballWeekly.com, where we discuss the week's games from a point spread perspective. Let's start with the Manning Bowl, Giants versus Colts on Sunday night. Now, the Colts are 5.5-point favorites in this game. The line opened higher at some Las Vegas sportsbooks on Sunday night, including 6.5 at the Las Vegas Hilton. It has fallen. Clearly, there's some question about the Colts after their Week 1 loss to Houston. Now, the big question is whether or not that was a one-week fluke against a very good division rival, or whether or not this is a sign of true regression from one of the AFC's powers. Now, the Giants also come in with some questions too. Now, they were very impressive in victory against Carolina in Week 1, but they had some secondary concerns last year. One statistic of note to keep in mind for this game, if the number goes up to 6 or more. The Colts were 3-0 in their final 3 games last year with a spread of 6 or 6.5 points. Next, we look at Miami and Minnesota. The Vikings are a 5.5-point favorite in this game. The Vikings haven't covered in a home opener in the last 2 years, and their offense really struggled in Week 1. On the other hand, the Dolphins won and covered at Buffalo, and they covered in 6 of their final 7 games as an underdog last season. This game probably comes down to which passing offense makes more big plays, and if you're looking at the total, handicapping that angle is probably the way to go. We shift our attention next to a very intriguing AFC matchup, Pittsburgh at Tennessee. Now, the Titans are 5-point favorites. They've got a very strong run offense. However, the Steelers have a very strong run defense. Now, Pittsburgh is an underdog for a second consecutive week. Now, they won and covered in this role versus Atlanta last week. They're not accustomed to being an underdog very often, but they've thrived in this role. We've got to go back to 2005, the last time that they're an underdog in back-to-back weeks. Now, they weren't favored at Indianapolis or Denver in the 2005 playoffs, but they won and covered both games. So that's an angle that handicappers certainly need to keep in mind when looking at this game. Staying on the subject of teams not accustomed to playing roles, the Houston Texans are road favorites at Washington this week. This is only the 6th time they've been favored on the road in their existence. They haven't fared well in this role before. 1-4 all time, particularly struggled last year here. The other intriguing aspect of the game for me is this. You've got 2 teams that played emotional games in Week 1 against division rivals and won. Washington beating Dallas, Houston beating Indianapolis, a team they'd only beaten once before. Who has the letdown in this game? Or do both teams let down? Or can both teams match the emotion that they showed last week? That's really, perhaps above any other handicapping angle in this game, the most intriguing thing to sort of figure out. For more handicapping information throughout the week, check in daily on ProFootballWeekly.com.